Even on the teams with the greatest of records, there's always bound to be some disappointment.
Plenty of time, looking in the middle, it's dropped again by Tony! Had a really poor night.
Their play up to this point does not leave much room for optimism. So with that, let us dive into every NFL team's most disappointing player of 2023 so far. Arizona Cardinals, Zach Ertz. Three-time Pro Bowl tight end Zach Ertz was performing below his usual standards before landing on the IR with a quad injury. In the 7 games he played before going on IR, Ertz had just 27 catches for 187 yards and a TD. The 6.9 yards per catch and the 26.7 yards per game mark career lows for the Super Bowl 52 champ. Atlanta Falcons, Kyle Pitts. 2023 was supposed to be a bounce-back year for Pitts with Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke feeding him the ball. Pitts didn't find the end zone for the first time this season until Week 6 against Washington, and he was held to under 50 receiving yards in 8 of Atlanta's first 10 games. Baltimore Ravens, Odell Beckham Jr. Not that we expected OBJ to return to his Pro Bowl form with the Ravens, but we definitely didn't expect him to be the club's 4th best pass catcher. Yet, here we are. Beckham didn't record his first TD as a Raven until their 9th game. To think he's getting $15 million to put up 2 to 3 catches and roughly 30 yards per contest. Buffalo Bills, Gabe Davis. At this rate, it's starting to look like Davis's true breakout year will never come with Buffalo. Davis's production has gotten worse and worse since his 100-yard outing against Jacksonville in Week 5. Davis's frustrating season is also bound to cost him valuable dollars in 2024 free agency. Carolina Panthers, Miles Sanders. Sanders' career year with Philadelphia in 2021 led to a 4-year, $25 million deal from the Panthers. Surely Sanders would do wonders in a Frank Reich-coached offense with promising QB Bryce Young, right? Wrong. Sanders averaged 65.1 rushing yards per game in 4 years with the Eagles. He is averaging less than half of that this year. Through his first 8 games, Sanders had 1 touchdown. How do you spell buyer's remorse again? Chicago Bears, Tremaine Edmonds. The Bills look like geniuses for letting Tremaine Edmonds walk to free agency. The Bears, on the other hand, look completely foolish for giving him $72 million over 4 years. This contract always looked like a bit of a mistake for an off-ball linebacker who was a product of playing on a stacked Buffalo defense. Cincinnati Bengals, T. Higgins. Cincy's number 2 receiver has been invisible far too many times this season. A pending free agent, Higgins is on pace to set career lows across the board. He had just 218 yards and 2 TDs through his first 6 games. Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson. Watson's season came to an abrupt end after Week 10 when he underwent surgery to fix a broken bone in his throwing shoulder. Watson's season ends with a 61.4 completion percentage, the second worst mark of his career, 1,115 passing yards, 7 touchdowns, 4 picks, and 5 fumbles. Dallas Cowboys, Jaron Kearse. While Dallas's defense remains a strength in 2023, Kearse has seen his play slip up, which is concerning with All-Pro Trayvon Diggs done for the year. Through 9 games, Kearse allowed a 70.0 completion percentage when targeted, per Pro Football Reference. His PFF grade was in the 70s in 2021 and 2022. Denver Broncos, Jerry Jeudy. Russell Wilson has displayed tremendous improvement under Sean Payton, but Jeudy, inexplicably, is not a reason why. Jeudy is averaging less than 4 yards per catch and won't come close to last year's career season in which he caught 67 receptions for 972 yards. Detroit Lions, Jamison Williams. Williams' 6-game ban for gambling was reduced to 4 games following the league's changes on its gambling policy. The stars were aligning for the Alabama product to emerge as a game-changer on Detroit's offense. Yet, he's seeing less than half the club's offensive snaps, and for good reason. Green Bay Packers, Christian Watson. Watson racked up 9 total touchdowns in 14 games for the Packers as a rookie in 2022. Shame on us, we guess, for thinking that he was ready to enter stardom this year. Watson and Jordan Love just have not found any chemistry whatsoever. Houston Texans, Dameon Pierce. Pierce rushed for 939 yards and 4 touchdowns despite missing 4 games last year. But even with CJ Stroud and D'Amico Ryans turning the Texans into a playoff contender this year, Pierce has gone from RB1 to almost forgotten. He's been largely outplayed by free agent pickup Devin Singletary, who's made his case to be the starter going forward. Indianapolis Colts, Shaquille Leonard. What in the world happened to Leonard? He stayed healthy in 2023, but has gone from all-pro linebacker to a quick afterthought afterthought in Indy's defense. His role has reduced greatly, and he's going to easily put together his worst statistical full season yet. Jacksonville Jaguars, Calvin Ridley. Take away a pair of 100-yard outings in Week 1 and 5, and Ridley's tenure in Duval County has been lackluster at best. He's basically playing fourth fiddle, if you will, behind Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, and Travis Etienne. At this point, the Jaguars have an easy call to let Ridley walk and chase the money in 2024 free agency. Kansas City Chiefs, Kadarius Toney. Well, at least Toney showed up for KC when it mattered most, in Super Bowl 58 last season. Take that game away, however, and Toney just looks like he'll go down as a big-time draft bust. A full season with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes has not helped unlock the former Giants' 2021 first-round pick. Las Vegas Raiders, Tyree Wilson. While Max Crosby has headlined the Raiders' surprise turnaround on D under Patrick Graham, the number 7 pick of 2023 is nowhere to be found. Wilson had just 1.5 sacks in the Raiders' first 10 games and was graded by PFF at 40.3. For those of you who aren't good at math, that is just really unacceptable.
Yes. Hey!
Los Angeles Chargers, Derwin James Jr. James Jr. has a reputation as one of football's best all-around defensive backs, and usually he is, but that has not been the case here in 2023. The three-time Pro Bowler has become a bit of a liability in coverage and is not getting after the quarterback at the rate that he used to. Los Angeles Rams, Matthew Stafford. Cooper Kupp's return, the rise of rookie star wideout Puka Nacua, and a vastly improved O-line have not been enough to help Stafford bounce back. Strange, we know. The hard reality is that Stafford just isn't in his prime anymore. Injuries and age have quickly caught up to the Super Bowl 56 champion, Miami Dolphins, Jerome Baker. All of Miami's big-name players have produced. Well, just about all of them. Baker, 3 years removed from a 7-sack season, had just 1.5 in Miami's first 9 games. As well, PFF's data shows he's simply a replaceable player now. Minnesota Vikings, Alexander Mattison. The Dalvin Cook saga has been lose-lose for everyone. Cook has not produced much with the Jets. Mattison hasn't produced for the Vikings. As a result, Minnie doesn't have much of a ground game to complement its potent passing machine. We still don't know why Minnie caught a 4-time Pro Bowler who was still good for over 1,000 yards rushing a season, and Mattison, as we've all come to learn, is clearly best suited for an understudy role. New England Patriots, Mac Jones. So 2022 wasn't a mirage. Mac Jones is just not a starting QB in this league. 2021 was the real mirage. Okay, we get it now. So, where do you think Mac will be playing in 2024? I mean, he'll be a clipboard holder somewhere, just not in New England. New Orleans Saints, Derek Carr. The Saints signed the X-Raider to a 4-year deal worth $150 million in free agency, hoping that he'd finally give this team some stability at QB in the post-Drew Brees era. Instead, the Saints have gotten a mediocre version of Carr who can also be seen screaming at his receivers and throwing temper tantrums on the sideline. If the Saints didn't play in football's worst division, they would be way out of the playoff race by now. New York Giants, Daniel Jones. After a career year, Danny Dimes was awarded a 4-year extension worth $160 million. Oh, this just in. It's not smart to pay a QB who had 3 crappy years and only 1 half-decent season. Before suffering a season-ending ACL tear in Week 9 against Vegas, Jones had 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 4 fumbles. New York Jets, Dalvin Cook. Everyone knew that Breece Hall would be the RB1 for the Jets, but Cook's sudden drop to irrelevance after 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons is truly hard to watch. The fact Cook didn't even have 200 total yards rushing nor a single TD through the Jets' first 9 games is inexcusable. Philadelphia Eagles, James Bradberry. Barry had an excellent first year in Philly and was awarded with a 3-year extension worth $38 million. At this point, the new deal already looks like a mistake for GM Howie Roseman. Not only has Bradberry's ball-hawking game shrunk considerably, but he's allowing an opposing passer rating of nearly 120. And he allowed 7 TDs in coverage over his first 8 games of 2023. Hello? Does anyone know where the 2022 James Bradberry went? Pittsburgh Steelers, Patrick Peterson. Peterson secured a 2-year deal with the Steelers after an excellent bounce-back season in Minnesota. Though the Pittsburgh defense remains a top-tier unit, Patrick has played a little part in it. In fact, opposing QBs are wisely picking on the 33-year-old, who's yielded an opposing passer rating of over 100. Might not be long until Mike Tomlin shows him the bench, huh? San Francisco 49ers, Deebo Samuel. Samuel, who missed 2 games midseason to injury, just has not been his usual explosive self. Samuel's All-World 2021 season may have been peak Deebo Samuel, because 2023 Deebo looks nothing like that version. Seattle Seahawks, Darrell Taylor. Taylor seemingly broke out as a sophomore last year with 9.5 sacks and 4 forced fumbles. Whatever happened to that version of Taylor? Whatever it is, it's now an unsolved mystery. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jamel Dean. After a stellar 2022 season, Dean was rewarded with a lucrative 4-year deal worth $52 million. But Dean, who showed signs of future stardom in 2021 and 2022, is suddenly a liability in the Bucs secondary. Tennessee Titans, Arden Key. After a career year with the Jaguars in 2022, Key and the Titans agreed to a 3-year pact worth $21 million. Key was one of the game's most effective pass rushers last year by PFF's metrics, but he simply has not found his footing with his new team. Washington Commanders, Deron Payne. In the offseason, the Commanders gave Payne a mammoth 4-year extension worth $90 million. Inexplicably, the Commanders' defense has become a disaster this year. Payne's regression, 1 sack in the team's first 10 games, has not helped matters. But who do you think has been the NFL's most disappointing player of 2023? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. Hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.